Hello out there. This is Survivor Circle for March 26th, 2024. Uh, we're a little light on content today, but we're going to do the best. I'm going to do the best I can. And glad to see everybody's there. Those of you who are, those of you who will watch later, good luck. I hope I make it through. Hello, how are you doing today, Maria?
I'm doing well. It's a tad bit noisy where I'm at right now.
Little bit breezy.
Just a tad bit, yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's soaking
Hello,
wet here. It's
Miss
soaking
Angela.
wet here. It's
Hello,
just
Bobby.
raining all day. And
Hello,
Marco.
Marco.
So my choice of topic was sorting. Sometimes you hear the stories and you just wait, you know, say, is that true or is it not true? How does that work? Does that fit in anywhere? No. Sometimes you never get the answer, and sometimes you finally do. This is a case of a finally said, oh, now it makes sense. Uh, I'm thinking it was maybe 3, 4 years ago. Annie Jacobson, who was a fairly well-known journalist of some sort, Cold War warrior type, came out with a book about Area 51. And her most famous part of the book came at the end when she said that her unimpeachable source had told her that the Roswell UFO crash was actually too much noise. I had some noise going here too. Was actually a plan by Stalin using stolen German technology to disrupt the United States atomic program by crashing one of their aircraft that had supposedly flown from the Soviet Union to the nuclear testing areas with mutated children in it and to make us think we were being invaded by aliens from outer space and to cause a general panic, like the War of the Worlds. Okay, that was the plan. And I no, no, just just no. That just does not make sense. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But it turns out she did an interview on her new book, and I really don't know what the new book is, but whatever. She's always got a new book. There's always a new book, right? Um, probably more about the Cold War, and then the Cold War nuclear situation. Like, okay, we've all heard of the doomsday clock. How easy it would be for something to go wrong, somebody to get drunk and hit the wrong button, or crazy and hit the wrong button, or whatever, and basically just blow the whole damn world up. We've lived with it for 70 years, 75 actually. Um, I guess at last count, there have been officially acknowledged, there have been 6 hair's breadth instances where we were within minutes of launching. Well, either us or the Soviets were within minutes of launching. And hey, so far so good. Anyway, that was the main part of her interview. Good information, solid information. Nothing that new stuff. A lot of stuff that's been resourced again and again and again. So, but she revealed in the early part of this interview that she was now, for the first time ever, able to reveal the source of that story. It turns out it was a guy, and by the name of Al, I'll never remember this, ever, which is probably good. Al O'Donnell. Al O'Donnell, who you've never heard of, and nobody else has ever heard of, happens to be the guy that wired up. He had a particular professional skill. He wired up 185 of the 200 nuclear test weapons. He was the wiring guy, explosives guy, for wiring the explosives to the test bombs. So that was her source. And I couldn't think. I said, that just doesn't make that just, yes, he has clearance, but he doesn't have he's working in a very limited space. You understand what I'm saying? He's not out in the field. He's not doing spy stuff exactly. Why would he have any particular credibility? So why would he even know about this? And the question is, oh God, I figure it's a story that he was told to keep him focused on just how horrible these communists that were threatening our country were. That they would send children to die just to set up a trick. I'm not that we weren't doing stuff at least nearly as bad, but that's what I figured that was. That was not a cover story exactly, because it wasn't for anybody but him. Which is not to say they didn't use versions of it to people all over the place. But that was her source. And I'm thinking, we know there's been dirty trick squads running all over the world, spreading lies on top of lies on top of lies. A lot longer than 75 years. They were very experienced liars. So I guess that one, but it always bothered me. Like, where did that story come from? Because it was so out there. It was so incredible. That it never made sense to me. But then I thought, well, given that, if this guy, who was an essential technical resource, was starting to get a little soft, okay? Because by the time they ended the nuclear programs that he was working on, he'd been doing this for nearly 20 years. And by that time, there had been several close calls, including the Cuban Missile Crisis, which during the Cuban Missile Crisis, people were climbing under their freaking houses because that shit could happen. It was that close. It was within hours of happening. I mean, it was within, in the one face down between the cargo ship and an American, it was a destroyer. It was definitely within minutes of becoming a shooting war. And by the circumstances we know at this time, if it had become a shooting war, the Soviet forces that were on Cuba had available to them nuclear weapons. So it would have been the end of the world as we the end of the world as you know it, for sure, you know. So maybe he started to waver, you know, and they decided, well, we've got to get him back on board. So I think that's the story. That's the story that they would try to float somebody like that. Because good grief, he knew. I'm sure he was quite familiar with the technical expertise of the Nazis that we brought over, and the Soviets got just as many. You know, it wasn't like they were all dealt out of the same deck. And the Soviets at that time were kicking our ass on rocketry. So yeah, makes sense. Absolutely makes sense. But it bothers me that someone, after listening to her whole story of all the different varieties of Cold Warriors, operatives, generals, diplomats, that she had extensive interviews with, and she didn't pick this up. It's a matter of mindset. It's how you sort fact from fiction, you know? Yes, there's some evidence on the side that says, yeah, that could be true. Okay? But there's a whole lot more evidence on the other side that says this is a bullshit story. Okay? That assumes that the nuclear-rated security officers, couldn't tell a German plane from a weather balloon. Okay? They couldn't tell that a certified undertaker couldn't tell diseased children from aliens. You know, I mean, it's just, and they would have had to completely coordinate what amounts to hundreds of witnesses to make a good cover story, which is what we all believe from the evidence that we've gathered in the UFO community. From all these, the intelligence apparatus would have had to set that table from one end to the other without a flaw, without a ripple. Okay? Or her story that she believes is a lie. Which one are you going to believe? Which is easier? They lied to one guy and sold him on an idea, or they had a sophisticated cast of thousands that created this cover story that was for no particular reason. You know? No, this just doesn't make sense. It's hard to sort these things out sometimes. It really is. I was watching something else. But anyway, to anybody else, it's not worth the 3.5 hours. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's a waste. It's an absolute waste. I find it interesting because I get the psychology of it. And it tells me I'll never buy one of her books. I'll probably never listen to another one of her interviews because I know who she is now. I have a really good picture of who she is, and she's totally sold. She's sold in. She has been turned. She's no longer a journalist. She is a publicist for the Cold War and the Cold War warriors that she respects so much. And believe me, I have some respect for those guys too. But some of those guys were just bloodthirsty motherfucking idiots. And I've met them too, you know? So let me see. I did come across one book today. It just came out. It's on a topic that I have been probably keeping an eye on for 20 years. It has to do with the development of language among hominids. Okay? When did we start speaking? Why did we start speaking? And just how the hell did that work out? You know? It appears, to me anyway, that this happened in stages. It didn't happen all in one. It wasn't chimpanzees one day and Shakespeare the next, you know? I think there were a few stages in there. But the biggest stage to me is how do you get, you can't, I mean, there's calls and signals among inside a species, which is kind of language. Even among birds, okay? Primates have particular calls that have a particular meaning. It's when we start working, but we're the only species, unless you want to count dolphins, but we can't figure them out. Okay, they're one step higher, baby, and they're so sophisticated that we can't decipher. We can tell it's complex, but we can't read it. You know, that's just all there is to it. Anyhow, what this book is looking at that stuff from a archaeological, sociological, paleontological, neurological, and chemical basis by a guy who's been working it in a doctorate at the University of Pittsburgh and Cambridge and half a dozen other places for probably as long as I have. And I'm looking forward to getting that book in and reading it. we, we were, well, that's possible too. That is a possibility. I don't think I don't see a lot of it. It's how I have an idea that I think is how it happened. Okay. Or I know one of the steps. I think I know one of the steps. And it has to do with how do we get the brain structure, that quick brain, to do the sophisticated manipulation that is involved in speaking. Okay. I think we borrowed it. I think we borrowed it from, because there's no, just thinking and speaking doesn't have that great a survival value. But being able to throw a rock and hit a rabbit is remarkably good survival tactics. Okay? The same portion of the brain that handles your speech handles your ability to throw accurately. And that's remarkably sophisticated. I mean, I'm agog. When somebody goes out on a basketball court and shoots the ball from the top of the key or half court, and it goes right through the net, the amount of calculation that is involved in doing that thoughtlessly, okay, like that, in an instant, done, okay, is amazing. You need it's just amazing. It's just, and that didn't just appear naturally overnight. Okay, but you can throw and miss, and the person that throws the most accurately, the most quickly, gets the food, and that's a survival. So I think those two interlocked and work one against the other. The speech ability and the throwing ability both use the same sophisticated area of the brain. When we speak, we throw our voice. We use verbs to activate nouns. Nouns are our projectile that we activate with our verbs. So it gives us a syntax. The syntax of throwing and the syntax of speaking are very similar. So I'm looking forward to reading this book as soon as I can get a copy. So what's everybody else talking about? I've about worn myself out now. So take over, Maria. Did I bore everybody to sleep? Did I make them all leave?
I don't know. The wind's calmed down just a little bit. You can still hear the chimes, but at least the wind isn't.
Did you know that there's a background music? There's a background filter under settings. Do you have a little settings key?
I got it pulled up here. Oh, on StreamYard or
StreamYard, yes.
StreamYard. Settings up, general, camera, audio.
Audio.
Reduce my background noise. Hey, there we go. Did that do anything? Probably not.
Yeah, I think it did.
Okay. Well, actually, there's no wind chimes right now. The wind's not blowing. Nothing's going on. So
Oh,
I think
okay.
everything is finally settled
Well,
down.
we'll just have to get along with that.
You'll just have to tell me what's going on. Last night, the
Yeah.
tree frogs were really excited. So maybe Oofy will get to hear that tonight before it's over with.
Mm.
Oh, the wind chime started back up.
Vintage batteries. Okay.
So can you pull up what Ron did for us? Which cracked me up, Ron. That is so funny.
He put those on. He put those on Skype.
I don't know.
I will.
I don't remember how he sent them to me.
Yeah, I had. Oh, which reminds me, I found something on Messenger today that really, really bothers me.
Oh, well, let's not talk about that yet.
Okay.
We're not going to talk about
Let me
that.
see. Ron.
I think I've got it, but I don't know if it's going to allow me to play this.
Okay.
So I'll attempt it.
There it is. Maybe.
You want to try it? Because sometimes mine doesn't allow me to do it.
Find. There it is. Nope. There it is. There. Let me see.
Hey, Rockstar, look here who jumped in.
Oh my goodness.
Got the toker in the group.
Nope, that's his. Oh, okay.
I can hear the sound, can't see anything.
Okay, I'll do a share screen now that I've got it found.
Okay.
I found one of them. I thought he sent
I don't know. He sent several. I don't know where the other ones went to.
Okay.
Maybe he sent those in Messenger. I don't remember.
If he did, that's what will be our problem. Okay.
But Ron, these are wonderful.
Right. Okay, share screen, right? Chrome tab. Nope. You tab. Nope. Why? Crap. Why won't it let me?
Let me see if it'll.
I found it. I found it.
I'll turn mine off.
Ready? Okay. And we hit play. Okay.
So the kitty cat that's in that picture, I have to tell you, is her name is Princess, and she belongs to the lady that I do landscaping for. And whenever I'm there and I'm doing weed removal or I'm cutting plants back or whatever, she decides that she's going to stand right in front of me or sit on top of me, and I'm not allowed to work. So I have to take care of Princess.
I can't think of where he sent that.
Well, here's the one that I've got. So let me see if this will work. And it may not bring up the sound, but it will bring up the video. Oh no, what happened? Oh, and screwed shit up. Charles.
Uh-oh. What'd I do? Did I do it?
I don't know if you did.
Here.
Probably not.
Anyway, okay.
It's bad. We are so inept.
Well, if it was on, and I thought it was on Messenger. If it's on Messenger, as far as I can tell right now, it's gone.
Everything. Never good.
All the notes, everything, all the exchanges.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're secure, but as far as I
Oh,
can tell,
yeah.
all those old ones are gone.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, oh, nice of him to tell me about that,
Yeah.
because I found those quite useful to go back and.
Here it goes. Here it is.
Okay. Yes, that's a favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Like it.
It has a great little tune. I know you can't hear it, but but you could throw those out for on
Intros.
Facebook or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I have
Well,
a
I can if I can find them again.
well, that one was on Skype, so I can share that
Okay.
one with you easily.
I thought they were all three in the same place,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't see it there. Maybe no.
Oh,
Nope.
is Bobby still listening? Is he where he can answer a question?
Oh, I don't know. We got
He'll
10
let me
people
know
here.
here in just a moment.
Bobby's still signed in. It's just a question of whether he's actually active with
Well, I
us or
know he
not.
has to take the dogs for a walk
Uh-huh.
at certain times.
Somebody.
He's
Ron.
here. Okay.
Ah,
Kevin asked
Ron
me
just,
to ask you a question, Bobby. Blank a doodle do. He absolutely to hear Bobby giggle when he answers those questions, but he's
Mm.
and then blank Willow. Oh no, wait a minute. Sorry. I gotta jump in. I'll put it back up, Yuffie.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, there you
I'll
go.
bring it back if we want to talk. Yeah, that's true. But this one, I don't know. Uh, she characterized this as like a deathbed statement.
Mm-hmm.
I give those more credibility. Uh, there's a reason the courts like those. They've got a history of being true. Most people don't want their last act in this world to be a lie. It's our Christian heritage or whatever, Or I don't know, it depends on who he was serving. Considering he was wiring up H bombs, maybe he wasn't working for the good side. So I don't know.
Well, you know what, dude? A paycheck's a paycheck.
Yeah.
And you don't look into it until maybe there's something, a little red flag that pops up.
Yes.
Then you're like double thinking everything that's going on. So Ron said he sent that one to Charles on Skype. So,
yes, I've got
okay.
it. It was the other two that he did.
Yeah.
That must have sent it. He must have sent him on Messenger. And that's why.
I thought there were 3 of them, and they were just adorable, all of them.
Who knows? My computers, damn it. Well,
between computers and our brains that are worthless.
I'm beginning to get back to my primitive sort and saying, books are a good idea.
Okay, so you were going back to the language thing.
Yes.
Feral cats do not meow.
They don't?
True feral cats do not meow. And I'm hearing a bell right now, and I have no clue why I'm hearing one. But anyway, please ignore extra noises.
I got this ringing in my ear. I hear it all the time anyway.
All this stuff. But no, if you find a cat, stray cat or whatever, if this cat meows at you, this is not a feral cat. So the language thing between the animals doesn't have anything to do with talking to each other.
Speaking of ferals, if a child, there are cases where this has been found where there were children that were lost in the woods and whatever, raised by the wolves, or severe cases of child abuse. They do, in that period of plasticity of the brain where they learn to speak, okay, like from 1 to 2. If they go through that period in silence, they'll never learn to talk. Never. And that's been notated, anecdoted.
But no, I don't know. There are children. Okay, so to compare children, my granddaughter is 2 years old. Okay. I work with a lady that her granddaughter is the same age. She was born a month behind mine.
Okay.
Mine has never stopped talking. I mean, she's jabbered.
And where did she get that?
Wasn't for me. Wasn't for me. But she's never stopped. She's always oohed and gooed and jabbered and everything. The lady I work with, her granddaughter's never said a word. Never. Oh, she doesn't, and she just doesn't talk. But it's not an autism thing or anything like that. Everything about her is perfect as far as doctors say. But she just doesn't have a reason to talk. Oh, Marco, you're so full of shit. I'm older than you. And they do. Yes, Jenny, they do. Some kids you can potty train at 18 months old, and some of them they're 3. I mean, it's all different. No, you're not, Marco. Shut up. Charles and Ron are the old fogies in the group tonight. So,
yes. And I've got a few years on Ron yet.
Yeah. And you're in better shape than Ron. Ron, quit drinking your fucking Diet Cokes, dude. Marco's trying to tell me he's 56. No, you're not. No,
I'm proud to have made it to 70.
Yeah, I bet. And that's something else too. It's like, what, 50 years ago, what was the life expectancy in the 60s? Oh my God, yes. 50s, 60s, something like that?
I think I might have said this before. In 4 generations, previous to me, I'm older than anybody has ever got. Well, with the exception of one aunt, just made it into her early 80s.
Well, it's like my father's father died at age 58 because of prostate cancer that he ignored all the symptoms, never went to wasn't going to do it.
Yeah.
So with that history, my dad kept a check on his blood work and stuff like that. And he had early symptoms, but he wasn't, he was in his 70s before he ever had the blood work picked it up.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, and he took care of it and stuff like that. And it was just really weird. It's really odd to see the stuff that takes your parents and grandparents out.
Oh, yeah.
Like my grandmother lived to be 96.
Uh-huh.
And she was fine until she was a late in life diabetic. And she'd been fine, never had a problem with it. And then one night, maybe she might have eaten too many sweets, not any more than what she had before, anyways. And who knows if that even contributed to it on that Christmas Eve night.
Mm-hmm.
But came in Christmas morning, found her on the floor, passed out. And so she'd probably been there all night long due to her routine that everybody knew that she did. 2 more years after that, she lived just fine, but she wasn't in there.
Mm-hmm.
She was gone, but her body kept living.
Yeah.
So she was in a wheelchair. And this is a woman that we had to take her tiller away from her at age 92.
Her what?
Tiller.
Oh,
She's
rototiller.
Rototiller.
Oh,
she was
yeah.
going to plant a damn garden, and it was like, and it was you'd catch her outside from her 80s on, and it was like you'd drive by, and it's like, oh God, what are you doing? So we would do it for her. But every day she would go out there, and she'd put that big sun hat on and that long sleeve shirt, and she was going to hoe that garden. You know what? Anymore, it seems like we hit the age of 30 something.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't have something that's going to make you come home from work and do work, do housework. If you don't have, you're going to set your ass on the couch, because that's more comfortable than it is coming home and mowing the yard and hoeing the garden, and because we don't have to do that anymore.
Activities, the more varied, the better.
Mm-hmm.
And hobbies.
Yeah.
Who has time for hobbies these days,
Well, and too, it's like anymore, it's the everyday bullshit of life. Seriously.
Yes.
And we don't have to worry about anything. Seriously, we turned all of that over to our government. Let them run the country. They don't need us. And then here we are. But still, back then, I've got people in my family that have lived into their 90s. These are people that lived through the Depression or the after effects of the Depression. And they did just fine.
Yep.
And they lived to be in their 90s. They lived to be way older than what the life expectancy is.
Yes.
But now, and that's because these people knew how to grow a garden, sew clothes, sell stuff on their own, plus have their own job, but a whole different job. It just amazes me. And it's like, I come home from work every day, and the only thing I want to do is sit on my couch. I don't want to clean the house. And that's awful, because I was never around anybody that acted like that other than my dad. Now, he was the breadwinner, and he'd come home from work, read the newspaper, eat supper, grab a glass full of vodka, but anyway.
Yeah.
But I think that's where we've kind of gotten to. Yeah.
Well, I wish,
and it's awful.
Yeah. I don't have as many things. I'm not juggling as many things as I used to. But I'm still.
No, because your kids are grown and you're gone now.
Yes.
They're all gone. And that's me. My kids are gone.
There's parts of that are really nice.
It really is. Yeah, Jay's kind of fell off. So yeah, we can talk shit about him now. But anyway, he's not. But it is. And it's used to, I'd come home from work, I would deal with the cattle, I would mow the yard,
darling, you used to, oh my God, I hurt for you sometimes when you had that whole herd.
I do miss my cats.
Out there in the wintertime.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh yeah. But and it's amazing. We were talking about animals and life and all that stuff, but life finds a way. I can remember we had 70-degree days. I don't know, 3 or 4 days in a row in February, and I think it was like a Valentine's Day. It was like it didn't get above freezing that day. And I wake up and I look out the window and I have a newborn calf. And I'm like, you had 3 days of 70-degree weather to be born in. But no, we're going to make my life miserable before I have to go to work.
Yeah.
But and that's, so, okay, we're talking about animals and communication and stuff. But it was just, that was one of those things. I could walk
Oh, God.
I could walk through my herd, every one of them. And every one of them, I could touch them. I could do whatever to. Now, I didn't push my luck. I'm not stupid.
Yeah.
But I had those big animals to where that I could make them do whatever it was that I wanted them to do. A lot of people can't do that.
Yeah.
Difference in the animal. Depends. You don't get turnaround
I don't
cattle.
know.
You get herd cattle. But anyway.
I've never had much trouble with cows, but I don't get along well with horses at all.
You know what? I get
never
along with them.
I've never got off I've got on a few horses, but I've never got off one.
I never. Oh, they threw your ass off.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Yes.
I've never had a problem with a horse. Any animal like that, but I don't like horses. I want to, but I can't. I'd rather go pet a bobcat than I would have anything to do with a horse. Which I have some of those out on the farm too. Not that I want to make friends with one. But now do remember though, at one time I had a coyote for a pet, so.
Marco, I think horses, it's that kick. Now you can be kicked by a cow. People get kicked by cows.
Where's his comment? What are you answering to?
Horses bite.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely horses
yeah.
bite.
Yeah.
And horses kick. But you can be kicked by a cow too.
I've come close to that as well. I had a bull that I could, and I don't know what it was about it. I guess maybe I knew how to not communicate, but just how to control them. Maybe fell off a carousel. Yeah. Heaven, go somewhere. That was probably your brother's fault, anyways, that you fell off the carousel.
Oh my God.
But so like bulls, okay, a cow that has a newborn calf, that's one of those things you have to be careful. And a bull. Those are, you have to learn the warning signs. But I learned those, and I never had any problems with those big, huge beasts. And that was one of those things that I always think about. Even cats, dogs, any animal that can trust a human, like that blows my mind. What happened that an animal was like, yeah, you know what? This might be okay.
I'm going to hang around with these big people, these big crazy people.
I've got one in my lap right now that's like 14, and he looks like he's just been beat with an ugly stick, but he's still here.
Tough job. I hang out here, and they feed me.
I have a box to shit in. I've
I
got
bring
food,
and I bring
water.
yeah.
Got a bed I
I,
can
I
snuggle
bring
up in.
I bring them a mouse once in a while, and they seem to yell and scream and act really happy.
No, mine tend to bring me live snakes.
Or live
And I
snakes.
really wish they'd quit doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, by the way, that one, the one that decided that she was going to live here,
Yes.
um, she went to the Humane Society on Monday.
Oh.
So, and I absolutely hated to do that, but she was attacking my cats.
She and her brood will find a good home somewhere.
Oh yeah, because she's ready to pop. I don't know how many
Mhm.
kittens she's gonna like throw out there, but it was like not at my house, not my monkeys, not my circus. So, oh, there you go, Kevin. I've never had any problems with those big, huge beasts. Yeah, really haven't. You know,
Hmm.
can soothe the animal.
Hmm. I don't know.
And all,
I've been a dog person mostly. I've had cats, but mostly dogs.
well, I never had a dog until I lived out on my own, and this is the craziest thing. I've never owned an animal that wasn't dumped on me. Like if somebody, every animal, I think, but one. Yes, all my animals but one have been
Hmm.
dropped at my house or showed up at my house. Let me put it that way.
Okay.
There was one of them. I'll have to tell you this. This is a funny story. My 36th birthday.
Okay.
And my husband, for some reason, decided it was not a cool thing to do to get me a birthday present for a few years.
Hmm.
So I picked out a puppy. And then I called his best friend and I said, I have bought a outdoor pen and a doghouse. Please go pick it up and deliver it at my house.
Okay.
So the story I got from that was got a phone call. It's like, why did Bill just drop off a pen and a doghouse? And I was like, so I got home and I had this puppy. And I was
Hmm.
like, because this is the reason. You think that you don't have to buy me a birthday present. So from now on, I will, and it'll be an animal. Your choice. So,
There you go.
anyways, Lurch ended up being this little puppy. And
Mhm.
I didn't think about it, but his paws were as big as my hands
Oh my.
as a puppy.
What breed?
He was just a red tick
One of
hound
those.
mixed with a German
Okay.
Shepherd.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I
So,
love mixed breed dogs anyway.
oh, they're
The best
beautiful.
dogs I've ever had, smartest dogs I've ever had,
Hmm.
were just mutts.
Hmm.
You know.
Hmm. Oh, yeah, they're the best. Mutts and mixed breeds are the great.
Yeah.
And this one, I would get tickled at him. He would, back in the day when he was a puppy, the people came by to read your water meter.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're remote; they don't have to do anything but just drive down the road. But she would pull up into the people across the road, and he would run over there and run her back into her vehicle. And she would stop and read hours, and he would just sit on the front porch. And he would go to the other neighbor's house, and he would run over there and run her back in the car. No rhyme or reason. But I mean, that's just entertainment.
Yeah, I get. Okay. Hmm.
That's just fun. So, but Rockstar, if you're still out there, we
Trying to
still
figure out
have no
what's
idea
going on
what
in
we're
that
talking
dog's
about.
trying to figure out what's going on in that dog's mind to
It
do
was
that.
just fun.
Yeah, yeah.
He was also one of those, if you would shoot a bottle rocket, he would go after it. And that was
Oh,
even after he'd lost his front leg. Tripod.
mhm.
I think by that time I got anything I asked for.
Let me
So,
see.
anyways, that show went completely off the rails, talking about feral cats and how
Mm-hmm.
every animal I've ever owned has been dumped on me. But
Evolution. Talking about evolution.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's other animal species out there that they meld.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
And especially, I mean, you can put enemies together at birth and they don't have a clue they're not supposed to hate each other.
Mm-hmm.
So
That was another thing that was brought up in that interview. And it's always the same answer. Okay. The interviewer had is it ever going to get any, is it ever going to change? Are we going to have warfare forever? Is it just a part of our nature? Where the hell do these people get off deciding that their concept of human nature is this violence-prone, raging critter? How the hell does he? I mean, it's such a, to me, it's a tell. Okay, like in a poker game, it's a tell. And what it tells me is what they think of themselves. I think most people are pretty damn good, and left to their own designs by themselves as individuals, I can get along with just about everybody. It's when you have groups and you try to control groups, and convince them to do your bidding as their overlord, which is something that has only came to be in the last 6,000 years, that it all goes to hell. There is absolutely no archaeological evidence of warfare before like 7,000 years ago. None. And we were here for at least 200,000 years, and we didn't make war on each other until that agricultural, hierarchical cities, states, societies came into being. That's a disease, and that's I truly and honestly believe that. We'll get over it, but it's not going to be easy because we've got to break down that power structure. But most people don't want to kill other people. In fact, most people, when they go into military service, have a really hard time being trained by fixed methods to kill other people.
well,
It's not natural.
Cops are like that too. It's like the last thing they want
Yeah,
to do is pull the trigger and take
absolutely.
someone's life. So, that's what I think. They were all pretty happy when taser guns came out, or
Hmm.
rubber bullets, or something that's going to, because there's a lot of people, and I know an incident like this happened several years ago
Hmm.
here in where I'm from. But there was somebody that they were just hyped up on drugs, and they
Hmm.
absolutely don't know what they're doing. People in that
Yep.
condition.
Yep.
So the fact that they had tasers, they had rubber bullets, because this person is going to eventually come off of the high of the drugs.
Yep.
And that's what a lot of them, they will do. They will do everything they can do other than pull out a gun to
Hmm.
control somebody like that.
Yes.
But now if somebody pulls a gun on them, military, law enforcement, emergency services, firefighters, whatever, you pull a gun on them, they're going to pull a gun on you.
It's training.
Yes.
It's not, don't think, train. Train
That's
and act.
also has to do with
And
instinct.
yeah, well, you train to the point where it becomes automatic. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to consider it. You just do it. That's training.
So as you can see, the inmates are out of the asylum. She's scratching at the
Well,
window, wanting
anyone's
in.
seen, I'm going to mention it. I don't like mentioning it, but I will anyway. Uh, the bridge that fell down in Baltimore last
Oh
night.
yeah, that was awful.
My God. I guess it's a good thing that it happened that was 1:30 a.m.
Your
when there was
time, yeah,
very little
yeah.
there was very little traffic on the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the count's up to now, but it was
The
looking like it
construction
might be.
workers.
Yes, yes.
How many were there? Was there?
8, I believe.
First, I heard 8. They have found 2, but not the other 6. And I also heard, I don't know if this is true, that whenever the Mayday was put out, that they shut the bridge down, but they couldn't stop. I mean, they couldn't do anything about the ones that were in between at that time. I don't know
In
if
between.
that's true or not.
I
But
don't.
it was
It
a
didn't look.
mile and
It
6
really didn't look like
tenths.
there was. No, I don't know how much
Mm.
fell. Maybe 500 feet. No,
It was a mile and 6 tenths.
oh, no, no, no. I mean, that may be from pier to pier, or the whole
Yeah,
bridge. But
the
the
whole
center
bridge.
span, the was it 3 center spans
Hmm.
that collapsed
Yeah, I
for
mean, it was all gone.
maybe 500 feet.
Jesus. Hang on. I'm gonna bless her heart. Like I'm saying, my angels are special. She's scratching at the window, and there's just a few feet that the door
Open
is
door.
open. And like I said, I have to deal. I'll be right back.
Yep. I'm waiting to hear. I've heard all. Of course, we're all going to hear all kinds of stories, but I the key point at this point. The key point at this point is that for some reason that ship lost power, and I don't know enough about ships to be able to tell you what that means. Whether they had to reboot systems, you know, everything's computerized these days, and it could have been if they had, while their power was off, they were basically out of control. Yeah. I wondered about that. I wondered about dropping the anchors, Marco. I'm not 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 that up on naval systems. That makes sense, yeah. That was not good. But yeah, here, God bless the people in Baltimore, and it's going to be a while. It's going to take a while. That bridge. It's going to take a while to get it back up. So, and it's going to take probably a couple of months to get the it's going to take a couple of months to get the debris cleared out so they can get the port open again. Bobby right here. Okay, Bobby. There it is. So all tucked away, safely placed.
Safely placed inside the doors. Bless her heart.
Come here. Come on. What? You mad at me? You mad at me because you got wet
It ought to
today?
be because you left him outside today in the rain. You're such a bad daddy. You're a bad daddy.
Yeah, I know. Little fat little devil. You got your treats though. You got a treat. He's not happy with me today.
No, I'm sure he's not. I don't think I would be either. But anyway, I'm gonna try to turn the camera around right now.
Uh-oh.
I think you should see this. Maybe we'll see.
Sunshine.
Finally. Oh my God. I am so tired of clouds and rain.
It has rained here all day today.
It did here too.
Because yesterday was so nice. And it was like, oh yeah, warm sunshine. And then get out there today. Back to that. The totally dreary parts.
It's just we're gonna have to deal with this. It's spring. We're just gonna have to. We're just gonna have to deal with it for a while. This is the Easter weekend, correct?
Yes, I believe so.
So I've always heard if it rains on Easter, we will have the next 6 following weekends will be nothing but rain. It'll be beautiful during the week, but rain time, yeah, rain's gonna come. Do you have anything like that there?
No, not really.
You don't have any old sayings like if
Oh,
certain
there's all
types of
kinds of
weather?
them, thousands of them. But it's not something. It's not something I've ever paid much attention to. Because they contradict each other.
There's something I need to follow up on, and I don't know the name of it at this moment.
Uh-huh.
You were talking about how genetics. There was a podcast by somebody, and I've got to find out who it was. But they're
Okay.
talking about trauma that happens to like your
Yes.
grandmother,
Yes. Yes.
and that
Yes.
it's embedded in her DNA, and then it follows to her child, which follows down to you, which
That's
follows
called
down to.
epigenetics.
Okay. But I don't remember the person that does the podcast on it, and I'll have to follow up. They were
Ooh.
talking about it at work the other day.
Okay.
So my
Like,
question is, when I heard this,
mhm.
was is this what people take as reincarnation?
No, I don't think so.
I kind of
Or,
wonder.
I don't know. I think I don't know. The epigenetics is. I'm not 100% sold on it, but it does make sense. And what it has to do with if your grandmother was starving, say, like in a war zone or in a high stress situation, when your mother was born, okay, all the eggs in the third generation, all the eggs existed in the mother in the womb. Okay, in that moment in time when the woman is under stress, okay, there are 3 generations. The genetics are there. The grandmother as the original, the mother, and all the female side of all the mother's offspring is there to be changed, epigenetically changed. You know, the little switches. Remember the old? No, they used to have computers. They used to have little pin switches. Okay, if you were wanting to run one kind of a program or the other kind of a program, it depended on how you set those pin switches. That all those pin switches existed during World War I. Okay, that still affect the next generation and the next generation from that one event. So I understand how it supposedly works, but it's very, very complicated. And a lot of it becomes by the time you're looking for something to be triggered from something at least 50 years before, you're really in. There's a lot of anecdotal stuff there rather than historical stuff. So I find it fascinating, but I don't think it's. Oh, now you want to come play?
Come on, Max. Maybe that's why I hate horses, because my grandfather was in the cavalry.
That could be. Too many hours in the saddle.
something. One of my family members has his spurs and all of that stuff that he brought home with him from his time. But and I don't, apparently he didn't care for him because he didn't have a horse after that.
Hmm.
There were never any horses. But I mean, you got to remember how long ago that was. You left the military. Oh my goodness! Look who just popped up. Ta-da!
Hi, Bobby.
Bobby, I need you to say the two answers to the questions that were answered earlier, please, sir. We have to keep Mr. Hill happy.
All right, hang on.
Blank a doodle do.
All right, hold on. There we go. Okay, say it again.
So it's blank a doodle do
Cock,
and blank willow tree.
pussy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
He needs to come up with new questions. It's funny. It's the same old stuff, but Bobby, your little giggle that follows it is that's what makes the rest of us happy. What are you into, Bobby?
What you been doing lately?
Nothing much. I just started doing what is known as gaming sessions that I also do on my channel, but also on Ron's channel as well. And so I did have to make some adjustments because the cloud PC provider that I was using, it only has a web app, and when you're doing StreamYard in that app together, the client will not cooperate. The cloud PC client will not cooperate with that. So I have to change things around so that I can use like a third party, that I can use that to still do the stream. So sophomore humor.
It's fun.
I thought it was more like freshman style, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that kind of goes back to middle school, but
I think
it's a good
does
time.
go all the way back to junior high and stuff. So yeah.
I don't know if we ever hosted an after dark show. Bobby, you want to come on and let's talk about your fantasies of Venus? And I'm not talking about the planet.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Where is Venus anyway?
I don't know. Bless her heart, she's busy. But I don't know. You could talk about CT and all those tentacles.
Oh my gosh! Sometimes you gotta get onto Goofy during music with a beam, and every time Goofy comes in about an hour or so late, that's like, Goofy, where you been? We need toast over here now.
Need some French toast, baby. Here we go. Yeah, he's not going to talk about Uranus, Bobby. No matter how much you ask him to, he's not going to talk about it.
And Ron, I don't know why Ron's always got a problem with notifications.
There it is.
I don't turn them off. I just turn them down, and you're still going to hear them, but it's just not going to be that bad.
Here, I can turn on either vibrate or put it on dead silent. I prefer the dead silent.
Yeah, that dead silent has vibration with it, right?
and it doesn't even make a sound or vibrate.
Gotcha. What all you got going on this week, Bobby?
Nothing much. I do.
What shows you got coming up?
Oh, on Earth Radio Mixler, we are going to have okay. So we got tonight positive podcast on the Mixler. And then I do outer rounds and 3 beers on Wednesday while Ron does his morning Bible and if they can cooperate, Swagger 82. And then I'll do ITR and 3 beers. Thursday, we have Marie. She usually does her stuff, so unless she needs me for something, then I could just come and interfere and fix and help them with all they wants and needs. And I just love to do it. We don't get paid for it though, but
it's fun, Bobby, and I agree. It's a habit. And some of the things that we like to do, we don't get paid for. So that was like paranormal investigating with me. The money I spent on the equipment to go do this stuff because I want to hear, I want to see the things I can't see with my eyes and I can't hear with my ears. And that's, oh my gosh, that was so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
Bobby, you need to move up here so we can go, ghost hunting together, because when something scares the bejesus out of you, I want to have it recorded when you're screaming or running out of the room. But it's fun.
That's not the 6 figures I was talking about.
Okay. So do I need to win the lottery first, pay you for your services? And is that what the 6 figures you're talking about?
Yeah. How do you like the Powerball and Mega Billions about to go back to the billions?
Is it really? I heard something about that earlier, but I haven't paid attention. What is it now?
Okay, let me see about the Powerball jackpot. I think Mega Billions is okay, so Powerball is at 900 million, and Mega Billions, which I think they're drawing is tonight, is only going to be about 1.1 billion.
Only you just
one.
said only.
Yeah. So,
dude, I couldn't spend that money fast enough.
Huh.
I guess it depends on what I buy. See, but you think about that $1 billion.
I still don't think you could spend it fast enough.
$1 billion.
What's the interest? What's the interest on $1 billion a day?
Are you getting a loan or are you depositing it?
No, if you had $1 billion, if you start out with $1 billion and you put it in the bank on the CD, you're probably making $1 million a day.
Probably. Yep.
So you've got to spend more than $1 million a day every day.
Oh my God. How miserable would your life be?
Yes.
If you could spend $1 million a day.
Exactly. That would be
all right. I'm just saying, I'm going to buy up a whole bunch of little islands.
That would be such a chore.
Oh, it'd just be awful. Just awful. just awful. So if you spent like $13 million buying an island somewhere, would you
You can
have to
take a
wait
week off.
two weeks? You'd have to
Oh.
take 2 weeks off. But then we got to figure out how you're going to get that little airport. You're going to have to get your food,
Mhm.
your slaves, all of, I said
Yeah.
slaves.
Mm.
I mean,
Hired help.
yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, because you're going to have to, yes.
Because you can afford hired help.
Yeah.
$1 million
They
a
don't
day.
have to be slaves now. Bobby, would you be my slave?
Oh, no.
Oh my God.
Look, dude, if I took you down to a Caribbean island somewhere and the waters are so clear and the sun's out all the fucking time and it's warm at night, dude, you'd be my slave. As long as you got food, clothing, all the chicks you wanted, or guys. I'm not judging. I'm just saying, whatever you want. Gotta take care of the people. Bobby, speak to me.
What? I know. I think my family would get angry on that.
Well, hell, I'll bring your family with you and you'll be fine. Every one of them. So what size airport do I need to build? How many huts needs, we're gonna do this Gilligan Island style. We need huts, dude. We're not gonna have any electricity. We're not gonna have internet. We're gonna live on coconuts and fish. Oh, do I need to bring a Ginger or a Marianne?
I'll pull up with my yacht. I'll name
Okay.
it. What was the name? What was Gilligan's boat?
I don't remember.
Oh my
You
God.
have to sing the song in your head, Charles. But I just kind of know. I need to know, Bobby. Do you want Ginger or Marianne?
The minnow. Yes.
Great. Ginger or Marianne?
Okay. I'm more like Ginger.
Oh, there you go. That's you some hot stuff. The movie star.
Mm-hmm.
Bobby likes the limelight.
I always had a thing for Marianne. She looked like low maintenance.
Oh yeah, the pigtails and the short shorts. Oh yeah.
Yeah, low maintenance,
Where's she from? She was like a farm girl, but I think she was like the true Midwest.
Yeah.
Come on, Bobby, you need to Google that. You should know that. I would have thought you would have knew that, right?
Now, speaking of Gilligan's Island, is it true that the way that they had to kill the show was to start it all the way back to the pilot? Like, like how the intro goes, they got stranded, then at the end they got rescued and they got stranded again.
Did they get? See, I can't remember that. I remember the show where they
I
were.
remember they did a return to Gilligan's Island thing, but I didn't.
I remember when they supposedly got rescued and they were out in the ocean again and waiting, and something accidentally caught on fire because it was Gilligan's fault, but he ended up. But did they go back to Gilligan's Island during that rescue show? I think they did. Because they didn't like.
I've never seen it myself.
Bobby, you could lie to me right now, and I believe that more than you didn't watch the show.
I don't know. All I know is I was told about what happened at the.
They got back to humanity and they didn't like it, so they all went back. But it was with a different ginger. So would you have traded gingers, Bobby?
Ooh.
I honestly have no idea.
Seriously, me answering for you would be a big hard no, because the new ginger was not as hot as the old ginger.
Mr. Thurston Howell III.
Oh yeah,
He died. He died not too long after that, if I remember correctly. So,
but yeah, it's okay if you take old ginger, Bobby, because ginger never gets old.
All I see when it comes
no
to those
thing is
shows
stale
just
ginger.
bits and pieces.
Say that again, Bobby. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Yeah, all I know about old shows like Bewitched, Gilligan's Island, Ash, the original Star Trek were all just bits and pieces.
Do you remember? And I watched it one time. The version of I Love Jeannie. It was, I mean, all of them were just old, and they redid that show. Does anybody remember that?
Was it like redone as a movie?
I think
Like
I
a
just
reboot?
remember seeing it on TV, and it was like they brought all of the old characters back.
I usually think about more of like Bewitched because when I watched that movie, it was just like I thought it was just going to be like a reboot, but no, it just provides you like a backbone of what they did with the show. And I think Bewitched, the movie, was just a wasted movie.
I didn't watch that Bewitched or I Love Jeannie. This is the thing I have. Whenever they do these remakes, I don't want to see them. Bring me an original idea. Bring me something from, so like if you did a movie like Twisters, and I've not seen Twisters. You remember the movie Twister with Helen Hunt and Bill Paxton? So they've come out with another movie and it's called Twisters, and supposedly I think it's their offspring or whatever, but it's not the same storyline. That's the stuff that I don't mind watching, because they're not trying to remake it, Helen Hunt and Bill Paxton. You just can't do that.
Yeah.
That chemistry you can't remake. For us old folks. Now, people that have never.
Should be said whenever Lionsgate redid Power Rangers, I thought after I saw that movie, I thought they screwed it all over.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't follow the original storyline like they did in the TV series.
Well, and that's right, because you know what? Special effects is a lot better. So they try to put more violence in it and all of that stuff. And they just need to leave good stuff alone. They will never bring back shows like Texas Walker Ranger.
Yeah, because let's say like Bruce Lee and Chuck Norris, they're both icons that should not be tampered with. And when you have icons doing a television show, and you want to go ahead and try to redo it, I think the same happened to Fantasy Island. Remember when Walt Disney, who now owns Fox, redid Fantasy Island? I didn't watch the redo, but I know like my friend did. But every time you hear someone, we're going to redo a show, it's just going to go backwards.
Yeah.
You know, music seems to handle that better than movies or TV shows. So, like, you will have And some music remakes are not as good as others, but there are some that do a remake that of music. So, The Sound of Silence. Disturbed did a remake of Simon and Garfunkel's Sound of Silence.
Okay.
And it was incredible because of the vocals only. To me, the vocals only. And then there's some people that remake music and it's like they just trashed the shit out of that and they shouldn't have been able to do it. But I
Truth
think
to
you can
be
do it.
told, truth to be told, I really love when Weezer redid Africa and Roseanne.
I've not
I
heard Rosanna.
I think like I only heard like Africa, Weezer's version of
Mhm.
Africa more than Rosanna, but I know they did it.
But it seems like too, it was like whenever the Africa came back out, it seemed like they played more of Toto's version than they did of anything. It was like that brought Toto's version back out, even though they did a wonderful job with it. But no, Rosanna, I've not heard that remake yet.
I think if I'm not mistaken, Fall Out Boy redid Michael Jackson's Smooth Criminal, and I think you
That
can get
was
a twist
wonderful.
and shout with that one.
Mike, the
That's
remake
a
of
slapper right there.
yeah, the remake of Smooth Criminal was great. But they kept, and I think that's one of the things. The artist kept that upbeat. They just added a little bit extra. The vocals were still great, but you've got some of these people that will take a song that was slow and meant to be slow, and it had a lot of orchestra instruments or symphony, and then they just totally turn it into like hard rock and bullshit. I can't do that.
Mhm.
Take the artist's original idea and just enhance it a little bit and
Hey,
don't change it so much.
now I love like that we can enhance like those songs, but I also love the way like the way how Fall Out Boy did Michael Jackson, Weezer did Toto, and I think who redid Careless Whisper by Wham. I forgot because I seen it. I heard it multiple times on an alt rock station, and I forgot who redid Careless Whisper. But Careless Whisper was redone.
I don't think I've heard the remake of that. And I don't think, in my mind, you can make that better. Did they keep the soft jazz behind it?
I think they replaced it with a touch of guitar.
See, I don't know. I'm just thinking that saxophone was great.
Yeah, but like I said, I forgot who redid Careless Whisper.
Well, apparently that means it wasn't that good. If you can't remember, it wasn't that good. But I don't know. Charles, can you think of what was a remake that you liked better?
I'm not. No, I really can't. Well, wait. Are we talking just songs or movies?
Songs, music.
Music. No. Very. There might be a couple, but there are very few. Very, very few. I. The, to be a popular song, though, the thing, it has to be in step with the time that it's introduced. You know what I'm saying? It's it it it's it's part of that moment. You can never have that moment again. You can have that. You can play, and the occasion, the situations where you can take that. Okay. The situations where you can take that same song and put it in a different era. Okay. They're hard to come by because it doesn't fit anymore. It's when you try to do it the second time, it's not on it.
Yeah, go ahead, Charles.
Go ahead.
Okay. There were 5 that covered Terrorist Whisper. But the one that I heard was from a band called Seeker. And I kind of a bit called it in it right there that I knew that Seeker actually did cover Terrorist Whisper by Wayne. And I was like, oh. And by the time my co-pilot AI found out who that was and it told me about it, and I was like, it just hit me back. So that's the cover that I heard is from the one by Seeker.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oofy's all in there with the emojis tonight.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, sock puppets.
Oh my gosh.
Sock puppets. Stop it, Oofy. Where did this come from?
And who is this drone camera you got behind you, Maria?
Oh, that's Nala.
That's not. Oh, what a
That's
cutie.
Nala. She so the whole story from November, well, mid-October, I had a cat that decided to take up residence outside of my home, which meant Nala couldn't come out. Nala couldn't come outside anymore because she attacked my cats. So all winter they've been in the house, and then finally the people that owned Lulu moved and left her, didn't take her with them. So I had to remove Lulu. And now you're going to see the drone kitty out. You're going to see me have to pack the white kitty inside because she can't figure out the fact that the window's there and the open door is over there. So yeah, my cat got some freedom after the whole winter, which means I can defer my home a whole lot better than what it's been this whole winter. Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
3 cats in the house all the time. It's just not pleasant for me. Never has been.
just wait till you have about 6 or 7.
Nope. Fuck that. Nope. 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 Not happening.
Yeah.
I don't even want outside kitties. I don't want barn kitties, which I know they get mice, snakes, all kinds of rodents, all that stuff. That's responsibility I just don't want anymore.
We
Ever.
used to have a cat that unexpectedly came as a kitten,
Oh.
and well, we don't know where the mother was. And we did have 2 of them, but one picked up, and we just decided we're just going to raise the other one as an outdoor kitty. And I think we had him about probably a year or so, and then I think something happened, and never saw him again.
Oh, it's sad. It's sad. I mean, animals move in, win you over, then disappear. It's kind of sad. So what are we going to talk about next week, Charles?
I don't know.
What you got, Bobby? What's your
Okay,
topic?
I think we're going to talk about. I think I'm going to be talking about weather next week.
Bobby, what's your
Trying to
topic?
figure out what's going to be like on
I
Monday the 8th.
do, yeah, I
when I
do
hit the
want to say something that was done at the start. And I think an anchor, but I think almost everything on that ship needs to have power in order
Mhm.
to make it work. It's not like
Yeah.
hand crank like you did in the olden days. So
Oh
so
yeah.
even if you can lower the anchor either manually or you got to have power,
There's
and
no crew. There's
because
no
you
crew.
don't have power on that ship, you're just letting the waves, the river, do whatever you want with the
That's
ship.
right.
So yes, it is an accident because when you don't have power on that ship, it's all beyond control, and that's what happened to that bridge. And so there was nothing that you could do to stop it. It was going to hit when it wants to hit, and that was it.
Real quick, I want to mention this for future reference. I'm kind of thinking that Universal Secrets is going to move to Tuesday nights,
Hmm.
probably in a couple of weeks. So just they're going to go back to Tuesday nights because apparently Kevin Hale can't stop typing Happy Tuesday, everyone. Just want to throw that out there. But Bobby, as far as the anchor that you're talking about, why couldn't somebody throw that out? We don't know how fast that ship was going. And if you could have thrown an anchor out to try to stop
Yes.
change,
And
if it's going too fast, it's just going to do nothing but rip the anchor off of the ship. And I don't know how fast they were
Have
going.
the anchor rip the ship off. Is that it?
You know, it's going to cause some damage. It's going to cause damage, but just the fact to drop an anchor to try to slow yourself is not going to work, because what it's going to do, you're going to throw that out there and it's just going to break the chain. You're just
Right.
going to lose an anchor. So yes,
Right.
maybe it could have slowed it down. It could have changed
But
the trajectory.
because you don't have control of the ship,
Right.
you're just
Yeah.
letting nature do whatever you want on that ship. So even if you did drop the anchor, it's going to fail. You're still going to hit that bridge. And what
Mhm.
else?
You're still an unmanned vessel.
yes.
It's still an
Right.
unmanned vessel.
Out of control.
And that's a lot of the terminology that's going to be thrown out there. If they would have said it was an unmanned vessel, everybody would have lost their shit going, oh my God, nobody was on board.
Hmm.
That terminology means they've lost power, they've lost engines, they've lost all control. It's
Yep.
an unmanned ship. And I mean, even if they were trying to do
And I don't
manual,
think their radar system would not pick it up.
there was something bad wrong that happened. And their speed wasn't that much like you would be out on the open ocean.
Yeah.
But something bad happened. It didn't even seem like it had happened before it was coming towards that bridge, because there was no reason for them to be in that direction
Mhm.
for that pillar. But something happened before they even came there that we're not seeing on video. We saw the second power outage that happened, but we don't know what happened before that put it on that direction, because they should have been going straight. But we don't know the current, we don't know the wind speed, we don't know all of that. And you know what, Bobby? We're never going to know.
It's like I said, same thing with that Malaysian flight. There's always going to be unanswered questions. More
Correct.
questions, less answers.
Correct. That stuff we're never
And
going to
then
know.
that's going to piss a lot of people off.
Well, and even if we do know, because I've seen these stupid videos already on TikTok.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, look, did you see the explosions that happened? No, stupid ass. It's night. A boat hit the pillar. It broke. It's called sparks. That's what fucking happens when steel breaks. You're going to see.
Oh my God.
So let's not. So, Charles, don't dive into those videos.
Not even thinking
Leave
about it.
them alone. But I mean, and that's the thing. This was a complete accident. These were not explosions. This wasn't, because seriously, if there's another country that's going to take us down, do you think if they're going to take down one bridge? Nope.
Yeah.
They're going to take down every major artery that we have in this country. And that's like, if another country would come in, if they were smart, they would take out all of the small cities. They would take out the suburbs. They would overrule all that stuff, because your major cities are a bunch of dumbasses that don't know how to live day to day without somebody telling them how to live.
Yeah. Oh,
So,
you better want to check what Marco said about the diesel generators.
Lost their main engines, diesel generators started up, which would not give them propulsion. No, I completely understand that. You know, we all have, where I work, we've got emergency generators, but it doesn't take care of everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then plus, you know, and maybe that was the black smoke that was coming out of the stack, with the diesel generators kicking in. We don't know. That could have been a fire. We don't know. We are never going to know anything outside of the videos that we see. And even if it was a planned attack to take that out, we're never going to know.
Yeah.
I know.
You know what? There are a million targets in this country. Why they would go after one that's like that? That'd be a hard target to hit, really, to take, because there are so many quote unquote safety systems. But when you're moving big stuff, shit happens, and there's nothing you can do about it. Once it's out of control, it's out of control.
My paranoia, when I cross a bridge, I have to cross a bridge, the Ohio River, every time I go see my son. And I'm on my way, but I am not afraid to put my brakes on and to stop the traffic behind me if I see a barge coming down the river that I'm not going to meet or beat to the other side. I hate bridges. I hate them. I don't, and I don't know why. I've just, nope.
But from you, where was that bridge that they had the 18-wheeler hanging off of it the other day?
That is not one that I ever have to cross. I'm just saying. Nope.
Yeah.
That was about 100 miles for me. And you know what? I've never seen anything about that later. That amazing rescue. Could you imagine? Could you imagine, number one, being the person in the truck, and number two, imagining the person on the rope coming down to pluck her ass out of that cab Because if she'd have been fucking crazy, like losing her shit, not listening, not, you know,
Not
both
even
of
paying
those people could
attention
have died.
was something that my mom would tell me.
That would just be
I
that would be
just,
tough.
I wouldn't. Number one, I would never want to be the person hanging off of the bridge. Never, ever. But number two, I mean, seriously, my son works in an area that has a bridge like that
Mm-hmm.
over the Ohio. And
Mm-hmm.
to think that my child would be on a rope to go save somebody, nope. Mm-mm. They better not tell mama until afterwards. I'm just saying.
I agree. So,
I
yeah.
wonder how often they have to practice that.
Speaking of accidents,
Practicing
I
is
like
fun. Just
being
saying.
in cars.
Yeah.
I like being in cars. Okay. The problem that I had is when the driver gets too close of a car. And I've been to accidents before. I had a bike accident in 2016. And about last year-ish, I think it was, me and my driver was taking me home from church when we actually hit the car by the side while trying to cross the street so I can get back home. And it was oh man. So and like the front of the car was taken out.
Mm.
Yeah. So that's something I need to try to overcome because I know cars will help you. Almost any automobile will help you get your way there, where you don't have to go a Googleplex of miles just to get there, or have to wake up around midnight so that you can just walk to a city that's about maybe 25 miles away. Which I would have done that one time. Because I did not have a way to school. And nobody wanted to take me there. So that took me a good trekking. And I would have finished it. But my mom was like, I don't know about this. But I did have a full completion, but it was enough to get me somewhere. But I never got a chance to use the skills to get it done, and I was like, it was just a waste of time anyway. And even if I can work, it's either you're gonna have to get me a freaking break, or you're just gonna have to fire me. And because I can do it, but if the stress is right there to my last third, I can't do it. I just can't handle it. That's what happened. That happened to me about a few times at Walmart. I was getting to my last freaking nerve to where I said, I don't give a damn anymore.
Yep.
But I can take it easy and slow. But if it gets fast and hard and there's a stampede of customers, that will put a toll on you. It will put a toll on you, especially when it comes to Black Friday. When Black Friday comes.
Oh my God.
So it's either all hands on deck, do not call in. You're either going to work or you're finished. If you call in, you're just done. We don't need you. So
Customer service is not good. Never a good job.
I know, and I was trying to put carts back into the store. And I did that for a couple of years. By around that time, I was like, and then my mentor who helped me lots got fired because of a false claim. Someone tried to accuse my mentor, who helped me lots to get it done, that he stole a crap ton of Blu-ray players and try to blame the worker, which they did to believe, which I believe that was false. He should have not gotten fired or banned or whatever.
Mhm.
And I didn't like that. Not one single bit of it.
Look
Yeah.
here. Ron said, whew, I was worried Charles was pretty still.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I agree, Bobby. I did customer service for several years, not in the capacity that you were in, but I was so done. I was like, I've had enough. I've had enough of people, and I know they can't help their mental situation, but I'm done. And Black Friday, how stupid is that? Good Lord.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
Remember, it's like I remember Saints Row, the remake, the 2022 remake, was the first game I actually streamed. And you know, like after you're done with your introductory mission, it was when you got to go back to the apartment from work. And I thought that was the most craziest set of lines that the player that my I was playing that character, and he was just saying it all along, telling me how sucked about how they don't like his working skills. And I think that was the most cutest thing to do to have. And I played it. I didn't complete it. I just did the main story and some of the extra parts, but I didn't complete the game. I might go back and complete the game. I just completed the main story and that was it.
there's a lot of games, and I used to play video games all the time, but it was like in the past 6 years where I used to be able, before that, I just get lost. I would just play games constantly online. Loved it. And it wasn't because I was having interaction with other people. I just wanted to play my game as long as I wanted to. And it was like, for some reason, it was like 6 years ago. It's like, I don't have the time or the want to. So something changes in everybody. Oh,
Yeah.
yes, Jenny, I totally agree. It is very addictive. And me with my phone, I've got games on my phone that I play every morning, and I'm drinking coffee and I'll play. They're mind numbing. And it seems like that's what we want. We want to detach from reality and all of the bullshit that's going on. And I will just jump into this game and just play it. I don't care.
Yeah.
Charles is yawning.
I know.
Yeah,
I got very little sleep last night, so I apologize.
Oh, so I've got to tell you this real quick. This was
Oops.
the dumbest. we were talking about dreams last night,
Mhm.
you and I, Charles. Because
Okay.
there
Yeah.
for a while, we talked about, we went through a cycle of just having just bizarre dreams, whether we
Yes.
could remember them or not.
Hmm.
Last night, I had this dream.
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
I was handed a dress and I was told to put it on because I was getting married that day. And
Ooh.
I'm like, okay. So, and it was not to be a big deal or anything like that, but one person finds out about it and then they make a big deal of it. So it was like, I'm supposed to get married at this certain time. It's 30 minutes past that, but this one person wants to make this such a grand ordeal. They had people come in to cut the grass. I don't know. I don't know. But I was just like, holy shit. And I never found out who I was supposed to marry. The wedding didn't happen because I woke up and I'm like, no, no,
Nightmare. Nightmare. Oh well.
nightmare, alarms. But I thought that
Yeah,
was so funny.
do what I do. Grab your wrist,
Mm.
and you will be pulled out in no time.
Oh no, dude! I tell you what, there's a lot of dreams that I have that start out one way, and I'm like, nope, I ain't liking this shit. And I'm like, no, we're gonna tweak it, we're gonna change it, and we're gonna take it into another direction. And when I get to the point that I want to be, I wake up and I'm like, nope. But I think it's so fun. I just think it was so funny. That was like one dream that I had. I kept thinking I was hearing somebody revving a four-wheeler, just like, vroom. And I remember in my dream, I looked out my window and I'm like, there's somebody that's got a four-wheeler in the back of my truck. And they vroom. But it was actually me snoring.
Yeah. And then also, it's not only just games that get you separated. Sometimes when I just don't want to do a darn thing, or my brain tensions go at high octane levels, I can either go on Twitch, YouTube, or even TikTok and just dab up my headphones, and I'll just listen to some either a sound bath or ASMR stream. And let me tell you something. If you haven't been through one of them before, especially a sound bath, it will knock you ice cold.
Oh God, I bet. I turn on brown noise when I go to sleep at night. Plus, I have a box fan running. I just, no thoughts, don't want anything. I just, somebody put me to sleep without medication.
Yeah.
Bobby, I'm glad you jumped in tonight. This was pretty fun.
Yeah, yeah, this is a great show, and thank you for having me in here. Because, and besides, we do this again more often.
Well, you've got a sweet little laugh and giggle and a smile that you kind of try to hide from everybody. So, don't put your head down. Bring it up. Smile. There you go.
I do need to shed the light, though.
Just a tad. There you go. There you go. Now we can see Bobby.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you jumping on tonight. Charles, what are we doing next week? Nothing?
I have no clue.
I have no clue. We never have a clue.
Nah. That's
We need to
I have several things I need to do,
Oh,
But
well, we all
I'm not
need to do.
promising anything.
Oh yeah. Oh, did you guys just saw my sunshades with that sun visor that was on? I posted in Guild Chat, but this is something that I just got from. If you have, let's say, if you have T-Mobile as your cell or ISP, this is the sunglasses that they give you if you would have went to T-Mobile today as either ISP customer or a cell phone customer. And what's good about it is they give you a sun visor, so that if you want to go ahead and catch the eclipse, you can just put these down, and you could still be looking at the sun, which I think that's cool.
That is awesome. I did order. So 7 years ago, when the one that went through and I was in totality, I bought like 12 of those glasses. I've moved since then. Can't find them. I've got some new that's coming in, but yeah, Bobby, that's a great deal. I've got like
Yeah.
5 coming in for like $8. So, and then of course, after I get this and then I rearrange my garage, I'm sure I'll find the other 10 that I had from before. So, but they've also out there on Amazon, I did notice this, they've got photo lens. So, like, I guess if you want to attach it to your phone, that you can record it from there as well. So, yeah, Jenny says we need to talk about the eclipse. That might be a good thing because there's a lot
Did
of
anybody
bullshit out
notice
there.
the eclipse last night?
No, it was raining here, cloudy. Nope. Couldn't see shit.
Nope. Okay. Because we had an umbral lunar eclipse last night. Yeah.
And the world didn't end, and there were no prophecies filled. And with this,
And the solar, the moon didn't disrupt the class 3 solar storm that hit last night at the same time. So.
You know what? 2005, I sat in my backyard and I watched the most wonderful aurora that happened.
Yeah.
And I would absolutely love for that to happen again. But as long as there's clouds, or I just kind of, to me, that was a once in a lifetime thing because I'm so far south. Bobby, good luck. Ooh, Bobby looks like Terminator. There you go. Bobby, don't put that lens down because then you'll see all my wrinkles.
Yeah, because that's
keep them
supposed to be
flipped
a
up.
sun visor.
Keep those turned up, baby. Well, anyways, everybody, thank you so much. Bobby, thank you. Next week, let's do Bobby and Ron, and with all the stuff they can come up with, and it'll be
more
great.
the merrier.
Yeah.
Bring it on.
Yeah, and I wish I have a gun that I'll be like, I'll be back.
Okay, well, Bobby, I've got that for you. But anyway, we can take care of that.
Yeah. Yeah. So like I said, those are the glasses. They tickle this area right here when I try them on, probably with the sun visor. But yeah, but the sun visor does the attach.
There you go. Ron is giving you a direct order to play the solar eclipse one.
If you was actually on the Earth Radio Network, I'll be able to do that. But I'm not an admin to your network. But I'm an admin on mine, on the Earth Radio Network. So if I was the admin on your network, I would be able to play it. But since I'm just a guest, I don't have those controls.
Okay.
Yeah, I think this is a free account, so there's like me and him, and that's about it. So good night, Jenny. Appreciate you jumping in, sister.
Yeah, good night, Jenny. Well, yeah, and it's almost doggy time for the night, so
Okay, we're going to give the promo on the way out. So, good night, y'all.
good night,
Good
everybody.
night.
Let's see if you can hear the sound. Here we go.
That is so much fun. Thank you, Ron, for that.